14 years before the Titanic sank, someone had a strange dream. They later claimed it was a terrifying premonition of the disaster that would come true. This is incredible, and the person who received the call didn't believe it until it was too late. It all started on April 14, 1912, when a lifeboat was scheduled to leave England and head over to New York. It was called the Titanic, and it was one of the biggest ships that had ever been built. People from all over the world came to see this ship as it passed by their cities. So on the day it left, thousands of people gathered on the docks to wave at their loved ones as they boarded the ship. But there was one man who didn't board the ship that day, and that was Morgan Robertson. Morgan had been scheduled to be on the ship, but for some reason he decided to cancel his trip. Now, this wouldn't have been a big deal, except for the fact that 14 years prior, Morgan had a strange premonition. He had a vivid dream about a ship sinking and people screaming into the night. He woke up in a cold sweat, and ever since that day, he had a strong feeling that something bad would happen to him if he ever took a boat. He tried to shake off the feeling, but it only got worse with time. So finally, he decided to cancel his trip. Now, you might be wondering why this is such a big deal. Well, after Morgan canceled his trip, he went to the newspaper office to place an ad. The ad read, "The sinking of the Titanic. I saw the wreck of the Titanic and the captain's desperate struggle to save his passengers and crew. And the Titanic went down just as I predicted." He then described the events leading up to the sinking of the ship and how the captain tried everything he could to save his passengers and crew. But in the end, everyone died. The ad didn't make any sense to anyone who read it because the Titanic hadn't sunk yet. But Morgan was so sure that his premonition was correct that he even placed a second ad the next day. This time, the ad read, "I warned you yesterday about the Titanic. I feel that another terrible disaster is going to befall me if I do not leave this city." After reading the article, the editor thought it would be funny to play a prank on Morgan. He took the ad out and replaced it with one that said, "Morgan Robertson is afraid to go on the Titanic." When Morgan saw the ad, he was furious. He demanded that the editor explain what he had done. The editor, thinking that this would be a good story to publish, wrote an article about Morgan and his premonition. He sent it off to the newspaper and waited for the next morning's paper to be published. When it was published, everyone in town was laughing at Morgan. They thought he was crazy, but little did they know that the Titanic had sunk that night.